Hasta la vista, baby.
Get away from her, you bitch!
I, Iron Man.
Expecto Patronum!
I am your father.
There's a snake in my boot!
What's going on, guys? Ryan O'Toole back here again, giving you guys another review. If you guys are new here, feel free to click that subscribe button and that bell notification icon for more reviews, reactions, rankings, and more movie content. Today I'm going to be reviewing a sequel to the 2017 film Murder on the Orient Express, and that movie is Death on the Nile. A film that has suffered through the pandemic delays, unfortunately. It's finally being released, and this movie is directed once again by Kenneth Branagh, and it stars Kenneth Branagh, Gal Gadot, Armie Hammer, Letitia Wright, Annette Bening, Tom Bateman, and Russell Brand. While on vacation on the Nile, Hercule Poirot, played once again by Kenneth Branagh, must investigate the murder of a young heiress. Now, like I mentioned in the opening, this movie's been delayed so many times through this pandemic. It was supposed to come out in 2020. Now, here we are in 2022. Now, if you watched my review back in 2017 of Murder on the Orient Express, I thought it was a fine movie. It wasn't great, it wasn't amazing, but I thought it was a pretty interesting murder mystery based on the iconic Agatha Christie novels. In this one, once again, you got an Agatha Christie novel. I liked how this one takes place now in Egypt on the Nile, and it's a murder mystery, and I love murder mysteries. I mean, Knives Out was probably one of my favorites in that genre. And so going into this movie, I wasn't full out excited for it. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of the first one. And this one looked more interesting. It had a bigger cast, bigger budget. Death on the Nile, I can say, is pretty underwhelming of a sequel to that 2017 movie. While it has outstanding production design, this movie all around, I say, falls flat. I would say acting-wise, all the actors do a fine job in their roles. They all do their work as far as their characters go. But easily the best performance in both installments is Hercule Poirot, played by Kenneth Branagh. Poirot is just such an interesting detective that's very good at his job. He's pretty much exactly like Detective LeBlanc in Knives Out. I love both of those characters, like they both have their nice accents. He does anything possible to get this murder solved. He interviews all of these suspects in this murder case and gets under their skin to try to get the truth out. Kenneth Branagh just is excellent as this character. He's by far the best part about both installments. And out of the new cast, there are definitely likable faces in here, especially Gal Gadot in here, who was heavily involved in the marketing. She says the iconic line in the movie, "We have enough champagne to fill the Nile." And Gal Gadot is the most gorgeous woman on earth, and you can't change my mind on that. And I just think she was the bright spot of the cast, as well as Letitia Wright, who you may know as Shuri from Black Panther. She provides, I would say, the most emotion out of all the characters in here, and I really liked her back and forth with certain characters. You got Annette Bening, of course, who's a well-known iconic actress. I would say all these cast members do a fine job, and it has a very interesting appearance. Russell Brand is in this movie. I have not seen Russell Brand in a movie in such a long time, and it was so random seeing him in this movie. I was like, holy shit, that's Russell Brand. He got a haircut. The production design is fantastic, as always. Just like Murder on the Orient Express, how it takes place on a train, this one is on a ship in the Nile. I like the different uses of transportation as well as the different locations. And they really do a good job of making it feel like a murder mystery. Whenever the murder does occur, it doesn't really come until, I would say, about an hour into it. But then once it happens, the characters are in it. Like, they're always always on each other's cases trying to find out who this killer is. Which unfortunately we have to get to the negatives, because I feel like the story in this movie, it's not as intense as I would wanted it to be. I felt like the murder case was a lot more fun in the first film compared to this one, because the first, like, I don't know, 45 minutes, something happens that is kind of surprising and shocking that I didn't really see coming. And then the whole story plays out, and I'm just not as invested as I wanted to. And these characters, development-wise, is kind of paper thin. While there are likable actors playing these characters, they're just not as invested or caring. So whenever stuff does happen, like, I don't really care as much for their eventual downfall. And in that case, if you don't have compelling enough characters to lead your story, then it doesn't make the stakes that high for Hercule Poirot to find out who the killer is. And that was kind of disappointing. I really wanted to root for a certain new character, and I just couldn't. It takes about a good hour and 10 minutes till we get to the actual, okay, let's get down to the murder plot line in this movie. And that's when the film starts to get going. The pacing does drag a lot in the first act. And by the ending, I was like, okay, I kind of saw that coming. I didn't care about what went down between somebody, and it's like, I just didn't care what the eventual reveal was going to be. And that's, once again, harkening back to the character development in this movie. Before I give you guys my final overall thoughts and grade for Death on the Nile, if this is your guys' first time checking out the channel and you enjoyed this review, definitely hit that like button and consider clicking that subscribe button for weekly reviews and ranking videos on this channel. Death on the Nile was kind of a disappointing sequel. I really wanted to go into this movie expecting it to be pretty solid of a murder mystery, but this one was kind of disappointing and underwhelming to follow. It takes way too much time on build-up rather than a good climax. So overall, this movie is kind of a dud. On my rating scale, I'm going to give Death on the Nile a C-. There you have it, guys. That was my thoughts on Death on the Nile. What did you guys think of this movie? Did you like it more than Murder on the Orient Express? Which one do you prefer? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this review. All my social media links are in the description below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!